All right, we're here.
Action.
We're back. We're
Wait, you didn't
here.
let me say action.
What? Oh, sorry. I didn't.
Jesus.
Well, that how we're doing action in the beginning?
That's how we've been doing it the whole time, you numbskull. When'd you get the bookshelf? Oh, I see Shel Silverstein there.
Yeah.
Shelf Silverstein.
One of my favorite writers. It's all it's all children's books. I got it like the other day, and then I put it together myself, and I fucked up a lot. It's bad.
That's so creepy that you have children's books
from your collection. What is that? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, that's I don't know what that is.
You don't have to say no like I'm an idiot. I mean, I just saw.
No, it's something called Spin Master.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It gets me hard. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hot. A little baby sock. Have you ever heard that thing where Ernest Hemingway was in a challenge to write the saddest, shortest short story or whatever?
I think I told you this.
Did you tell me? You didn't. I mean, I knew about Ernest Hemingway from before I met you.
You knew this though? This story?
Of course, yeah.
This is my go-to fact. I tell everybody.
Well, can I tell? Damn.
Yeah, you tell it. Fine. Fact. Go ahead.
The challenge that he wrote the saddest short story, the fewest lines. It was baby shoes. Someone fucked the kid. Baby shoes. My kid's dead. Dead baby shoes.
Dead baby AIDS, dummy.
Dead baby AIDS.
No, baby shoes for sale, never worn.
Never worn. Yeah. That's sad because the baby died. I guess it could be a bunch of things. It could be like they were gonna get a baby and then they didn't, or it could be like a pedophile or something, and he was gonna like lure a kid with shoes and gave up.
I mean, I'm sitting here telling you that I'm here with my family, there's kids, and you go straight into this baby death. I mean,
are you on speaker? Are they right there?
Come here, buddy.
How are so? These are your like nephews, but you're like surrogate nephews or whatever, or like metaphorical nephews.
My best buddy's kids.
You're pretty good with kids. We were in the hallway the other day. And Tony Deo's kid was there. Deo.
Oh, that was like 3 months ago, but yeah.
And you were really good with the kid. You had like jokes and you were like on. I've never seen you more on. You're usually very off. I've never seen you more on than with that kid. You were like chucking and jiving. Wait, is that right?
I see you as a moron all the time. No, I mean I'm best with kids. I prefer kids.
I was impressed. I mean, I'm good with my own nephews and stuff, but yeah, you were like, you had jokes. You were making them crack up. It was great. Yeah. You should have a kid.
I kill. Well, it's a whole thing. My wife's 75 years old, but
yeah.
You know how it goes.
Well,
but I don't want to get into that. What are we doing?
Okay. Anyway, it's chucking and jiving racist.
I kill. And I listen. What?
Is chucking and jiving racist? I just said that. Is that a racist term or no?
I don't think so. But you're asking the wrong guy. I mean,
it sounds racist.
Go to Brooklyn or whatever. I'm not.
It sounds very racist, but I don't know.
I still say a lot of things we're not supposed to be saying, evidently.
Yeah. You learned about the N-word being a no-no the other day.
From one of the kids. I kept calling it.
My mom once, I swear to God, she was talking about the Bill Maher thing where he did said the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And she quoted it and she said the N-word. And my like 6-year-old nephew was right there. I'm like, he could hear and just repeat that. He could be like a little racist at school. I was like, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't be a racist. He'd just be a kid saying something he heard.
I know, but it would look bad if a kid
It'd be perceived.
It would be perceived very badly. Because old people, they got the memo very late. There was a time where I think you were allowed to quote the N-word. Maybe.
Yeah, like 6 months ago.
It wasn't long ago at all. It was a little longer than that, but you could quote it like if you were like in the court and you had to read back, what the witness said. You could quote it. You know what I mean? But now quoting is as bad as yelling it to a slave or something. You can't do anything.
You can't do it. You can't quote it. You can't say it. You can't imply it. But you can go into Starbucks where the music is saying it loudly.
Yes,
that's just no big whoop.
Well, but that's
you can hear it constantly in the locker room at a comedy show. Yeah, it's not that we can't hear the word; we can hear the word,
but you can't say it. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. But anyway, I feel like we've lost everyone now. So we got
not my people. We're not losing. Maybe your people were losing.
My woke cuck. Yeah, I got the woke cuck people. So this is a Q&A, and I know you haven't looked at the question, but we have.
I got no cues.
We got some good cues. There's some good cues.
I hope I have some egg.
Get some eggs ready because some cues are like, I was like, well, damn, that's a good one, you know?
QAnon. Well, I want to throw out a couple things here because we're talking movies. We got time to fill.
Yes.
I've watched a lot of movies. I watched 3 movies in a day, the way we talked about Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And I watched all 3 Westerns. Take a stab.
Take a stab.
Three great Westerns. 1 I know you've seen. 2 I assume you've seen. The 3rd maybe not. I don't know. I
feel like you told me you rewatched No Country, which I guess you consider a Western.
I don't count that as a Western.
I don't either, but I thought maybe you did, and that's what you're referring to. Okay.
Can I say this? When I say Western, I don't know. Maybe you're like me. Maybe you're different. I'm talking about a period piece.
I am too.
Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood ain't a Western, and neither is Hell or High Water.
Well, yeah, but who thinks Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's a Western?
That's a big theory out there.
Really?
People talk about it.
Oh, because it's like a vigilante at the end, kind of.
It's out west. They're buddies.
It can't just be out west. It can't be just like.
That's what they say. I'm telling you, people. I've had this argument.
So for some people, just anything on the west in the west direction.
Yes, and someone was just making a case that Hell or High Water is a Western. I've heard many times Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a Western. I just think that's great. To me, a Western is cowboys.
I agree. You just told me you saw No Country, so I was like, but I knew you didn't consider that. So yeah, Western is cowboys, some kind of violence. It has to be violent, right?
Yeah, and like between 1800 and 1910 or something. Even There Will Be Blood is not a Western to me.
No, that's not a Western. Yeah. No, I agree. I'm totally up your alley on that. So the 3 great Westerns you saw recently, 3:10 to Yuma. That seems like a movie you'd rewatch recently.
I love the remake of 3:10 to Yuma.
That's not it? That's not on the list?
That's not it. But I love it. I never saw the original, I have to admit. I'm one of those people that never saw the original.
So 3:10 to Yuma's not it.
1 is one you love. I know you love it.
All right. Well, so Unforgiven's on there?
Nope, wrong again.
Fuck that. Unforgiven?
Not Unforgiven.
Oh, True Grit. The Coen.
True Grit is 1. You got it. True Grit was the 3rd and final one I watched. Then I went old school On the Plane.
How's that ending, by the way? Is it not just destructive? It just destroys you. It's just.
You haven't watched the ending?
No, I'm saying it's just so upsetting. It's so like it just rips you apart.
I love it. I love that movie. We've talked about it.
I cry like a bitch at that ending. Okay, so wait, what was this other 2? You had a clue or something?
1 from the 40s, 1 from the 50s. Classics. On the Plane.
Oh, these are old Westerns. 1 from the 40s, 1 from the 50s. Jesus Christ. The Searchers?
No, but excellent guess. I'm just going to give it to you. Red River.
I was going to guess that next. There was either going to be Searchers or Red River.
It could have been Rio Bravo.
That would be my 3rd guess. But that's
or Rio Grande.
Rio whatever. Rio
Perlman.
So what's the all right, so Red wait, what'd you say? Which one? Red River. No, what'd you just say?
Red River.
Yeah.
Red River.
Yeah.
And what's like the most famous from the 50s?
Jesus, I thought it was okay. What's the most famous?
What's second most famous besides The Searchers?
Fuck my mother. God damn it. I don't fucking
know. Everybody's
know.
Yelling it.
I'm blanking. I mean, I know it's not Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's later.
It's like the most famous Western. Shot in real time.
Real time? What do that mean? You mean the whole thing is shot in?
The amount of time the movie takes place is how much time passes in the movie.
Oh, High Noon.
There you go. And one of the all-time ridiculous age difference lead actors, Grace Kelly, 21, and Gary Cooper's like 78 years old, and they're just like kissing on the lips and getting married and being cute.
I've never seen High Noon. Is it great?
It's pretty great. I mean, it created a thing that like thousands of movies have used since.
The real time thing.
Well, but there's also an ending thing. But people hate it. It's fascinating. John Wayne hated it. He hated it, and he hated Gary Cooper for making it.
Why did he hate it?
Because the movie, I'll just give away the whole entire movie. Yeah. The movie is like the old bad guys coming back to town, and Gary Cooper goes around trying to assemble a posse, and everybody's too scared, and he's like freaking out, and no one will help him. And so like John Wayne was like, what is this horse shit? He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and no one wants to join him. He's a bitch. And then what happens? Can I give you away the ending?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
His wife picks up a gun and shoots the bad guy in the back and like saves the day.
Oh, it has like one of those empowering endings. Is that like the first like female empowering like you go girl ending?
Well, not just that, but it became a formula. That was the first movie to do the thing where like you think the main guy is in a shot with the bad guy, and then another character who you've kind of forgotten about shoots him dead.
Oh, this was like the first, like the bad guy gets shot right before he shoots someone kind of thing.
Yes, and you're like, who just shot him? And then it reveals like, oh, I mean, that movie, that is like one of the biggest cliches in movies.
Yes, like about to shoot and then get shot. Wow.
By someone other than the main person.
Right, but other than the main person. At that point, for that, everyone was like, whoa. Like at that point, they're like, whoa, someone shot him other than, because for everyone's framework, it's like the only person can shoot them is the other person until this moment. So they're just like blown away. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a big thing that became, I mean, that's in, I can't even think of a movie, but it's in about 500 movies.
Isn't that amazing that like you watch a movie now and like every time they're in the last scene where the gun's on each other, you're like, he's going to get shot by some little, 12-year-old 10 feet away. You're like just waiting for it. You're just waiting for it. It's so hard to imagine that first one when people were like they couldn't even understand it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, especially when it was a woman and a hot woman.
That would have been like, what? Like so many things that they have trouble processing. A woman saving the day, a woman knowing how to use a gun, a woman, it's like trying to imagine the first time Henny Youngman said, "Take my wife, please."
Right.
Like that like the first time, that's pretty funny. Like that's a pretty killer joke. Take my wife. Yeah, please. Wow. It's like so hard. Wow.
Hey, what is take my wife without the please though? I don't get it.
Like, I think the joke, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I think the joke is like he's saying it's an example. Like he's talking, take my wife, please.
Oh, I see. Did I just take my wife, for example?
Yeah. Did I just explain to you the first joke in stand-up comedy?
I actually never got that joke.
Yeah, I assume that's what it means. But oh, Jesus, COVID again?
Yeah, that's kid semen. Sorry.
Yeah, cough you right back up. But I
shouldn't have made that joke. That was a little harsh.
Yeah, whatever. This is the Patreon, right? Oh no, it's not.
No, this is YouTube.
This is the mainstream shit.
I don't think we're gonna be hitting our advertisers on this one. Everyone's like, don't say anything. Don't do any swears the first 10 minutes. You'll get advertisement. I just made a joke about
blowing kid semen. Yeah. But so that's High Noon. I'll check it out now that. So that's Grace Kelly. Oh, I love Grace Kelly.
She's the hottest ever.
And she's in her 20s. Oh my God.
She's 21, but she's not like great or anything in it. But it's interesting. But yeah, they're like kissing and stuff. But that movie's great. And Red River is so great. That is fun. You watched Red River?
No, that's John Wayne, right?
John Wayne.
That's John Ford too, right?
No, the other one, Howard Hawks.
Howard the Duck. Yeah.
Howard Hawks is fascinating too.
I don't know the old. Honestly, I don't know the old. I'm not a film buff. I shouldn't be on this podcast. I don't know the old westerns.
No, I'm not a film buff either. I just, read fucking 7 Wikipedia pages in my life. And basically, people always think like you watch movies, you've watched so many movies, but I'm like, I've watched 80 movies 300 times each.
I know. We don't know shit. People are like, the real film buffs, they've seen Forrest Gump twice. They're like film buffs.
People are always like, you got to talk about Cuckoo Shufufov. I'm like, what?
I know.
Who the hell is this? I know like, 7 American directors.
And they assume we know. They're like, what do you think about this Austrian filmmaker, Anjan Borgashi? And then I lied. I'm like, I messaged them back. I'm lying. I'm like, I think he's kind of overrated. I have to say, I have to do it like that so they think I'm telling the truth, But I have no idea.
You know what I would do, though, if I was that person? I would Google that director and Pauline Kael and find the article where she called him overrated.
Yeah, you called me. We should talk about that. Did you?
Yeah. I'm watching Network, a movie that everybody, 100% of people are like, the great movie, Network's like, it's like Jaws. Nobody's even questioning it. And then you're like, I just found that it was a little bit shitty, overrated. And then I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. Let me see what some of the experts say. And Pauline Kael, you just like quoted Pauline Kael.
Just like, I just found it a little overrated and shit. No, I mean, I remember the Pauline Kael review, but I also remember watching it and not liking it, finding it like not that funny. I was like, it's not that funny. Then you're like, is it supposed to be a comedy? Yes, it's supposed to be a comedy. That's bad. That's a fail. You didn't know the genre it was in because it failed at that genre.
But it's not a screwball comedy. It's like there's.
You think anything that's not Jackass isn't a comedy? You're like Big Lebowski, serious drama. Like it's a comedy.
It's a drama that's funny. I mean, like Network, nobody's like, let's name the all-time great. Network is more in drama than comedy. If you went to look for it at a video store, it's in drama. It's not in comedy.
Well, it's tough to be like in classics, yeah.
When American Film Institute ranks the best comedies, nobody's like, maybe Network at number 3.
No, but it'll be in there in the 20s. It'll be a top 20. I guarantee if you look at top best comedies, it's in the top 20. I guarantee.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Look it up right now. I don't give a shit.
I can't imagine you're right about this.
I'll put the rest of the future proceeds from the Patreon on the line right now.
The future, endless future? Hold on, you talk.
I'm just joking. Look it up. I bet it's in the top 20. It's got to be. I mean, you know, it's not in the top 20 dramas. What's number 1? Number 1's probably
it's Some Like It Hot.
Or something
like it Hot, I guarantee.
Which is not that funny.
No.
Something Like It Hot is not funny. There's a way funnier Billy.
No, this is bullshit, this list. Some Like It Hot, Tootsie, Dr. Strangelove, Annie Hall, Duck Soup. Now you're talking. Blazing
Annie
Saddles.
Hall, Annie Hall is the only one. What are the first 3 again? Say that again.
It's Some Like It Hot, which does have one of the great jokes of all time.
But overall, it's not that funny.
No, but that final joke is pretty amazing.
But Sunset Boulevard is funnier than Some Like It Hot.
Tootsie, Dr. Strangelove.
I mean,
Annie Hall.
Annie Hall is the first like laugh out loud movie on that list, besides moments in Dr. Strangelove.
Airplane number 10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Young Frankenstein 13. Singing in the Rain 16. Okay, we're really far up. Boy, when Harry Met Sally is 23, still no Network.
Is Network in there at all?
Final Tap 29. Raising Arizona 30. I think you're wrong about this.
Give me a Network somewhere in there.
People don't see it as a comedy. You're incorrect.
Did I just lose all the money I'll ever make from this podcast?
Bull Durham is on here. Fargo is on here.
Fargo? I mean, Fargo is hilarious. Wait, is Network not on there at all?
Hold on, I'm going backwards now. 71. Caddyshack 71. Mrs. Doubtfire is above Caddyshack.
That's insane.
What? Network is not on here. You know why? I think because it's not a comedy.
What the fuck?
You're incorrect.
Look it up on Wikipedia. Look it up on Wikipedia. What it says.
It's a drama.
I'm looking it up. This is crazy. It's not a. Isn't it a satire?
The guy literally comes out. He's like, "I'm going to kill myself on television."
But isn't it? It's a satire, is it not?
It's about a guy having a mental breakdown.
It's a 1976 American satirical black comedy / drama.
Okay, well, black comedy, but it ain't in the top 10 American Film Institute.
All right, fine. Well, then it doesn't have to be funny. Fine, it's a great movie. Pauline Kael's
I will say though,
I'll take it back.
They do have. I mean, and my guy Roger Ebert had this critique, and I've had the same critique on my own. I just like to back it up with Roger Ebert. There is every single character does have a 14-minute monologue uninterrupted where they just give like this, like, ooh.
Because it's Patty Chayefsky famously wrote like a note what the theme was and put it all over the computer when he was typing. So the whole time he wrote the movie, instead of getting lost in the characters and the story, he was trying to make a point all the time, you know? And then it's it becomes didactic, you know?
But it is the most ahead of its time movie, maybe ever.
Yes, it really well, have you seen Real Life, Albert Brooks movie? That called out a lot.
Real Life. Yes.
I mean, that called out a lot, like reality TV, basically.
It did. So it's impressive. And they're both impressive. But Network is, I mean, and we talked about this before, but we always talk about these movies from like 1948 that are like, the corporate greed is out of control. And then you're like, oh man, you had shit.
Yeah. I mean, there actually was a famous anchor woman who shot herself on TV.
Yes.
So
they did a movie about it. Christine.
Christine. Yeah. So I guess she stole it from Network, I guess. You know what I saw in movie theaters yesterday?
Ooh.
Scream.
Oh,
the new one. Now, by the way,
new one, what?
The new one. There's a new one. You thought I was talking about the old one? What is this?
There's a new Scream movie?
Yeah. How would I see the old one in theaters? You saw it like a
Yeah, they never show old movies at New York City movie theaters. I've seen about 9 Hitchcock movies in the theaters, you dipshit.
Well, you should know the new Scream movie. Yeah, the new Scream.
I didn't know that.
And get this. One of the comics at the cellar is in it.
Which comic?
Reggie Conquest. He just got passed recently. Do you know him?
I know Reggie. Yeah, I know Reggie. What do you think I'm doing? No, I didn't know there was a Scream movie. I shouldn't shit on you. So
Reggie Conquest, which is kind of great. Okay, so he's in it. He just has he's good. He has one line, right?
Okay.
But or 1 or 2 lines. But it's kind of like it's a small part. But there's not a lot of people in the movie. So at the end of the credits, they do that thing in movies that they used to do a long time ago, where they'll show a shot of the actor in the movie and have his name under it,
Yeah.
And they do that for him.
What?
He gets like a fucking showing him during the movie what's his name right there, like right before the rolling credit. It's crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Wow. I was like, what? My God.
Well, now I'm upset. I want to be that.
I know. I was like, man, that's nothing on the Tonight Show. He's got like the Sevens bill on this fucking movie that everyone's seeing.
Wow, that's pretty good. I never even heard of it, but and I'm a movie buff.
But yeah, I saw it. It's written by the guy who wrote Zodiac, which is crazy.
Oh, interesting. Jake Gyllenhaal,
James Vanderbilt. But not to be confused with James Vanderbeek, which is a different.
I don't want your life.
But I saw it. Are you gonna ask me how it was? You don't seem curious.
No, I was thinking we should get to the questions. No, how was it? Yeah, that's great. I'm just sitting over here steaming that I'm not in this movie.
It wasn't terrible, but these like remake bullshit things, they really the best thing they do is make you appreciate the magic of the original movie.
Right.
Because this movie, like a lot of remakes and shit, I go, oh man, the first movie really had that perfect balance between tongue in cheek and like actually scary.
Yes.
And this movie is so just self-reflexive the whole time and so tongue-in-cheek that it's not scary at all. So it's like it couldn't find that balance again. It just went way the other way, where every moment is like a meta moment, which gets actually really annoying because they're just talking about it.
The original Scream is like one of the best movies of that decade, which is one of the great decades for movies.
It's pretty amazing, and it really, it is amazing how it can be like reference itself, but still have like these terrifying moments. I wasn't scared at all during. I watched it with Kate. She liked it a lot because I think she didn't want a scary movie, and it kind of failed at being scary. So she was like relieved,
This new one, you mean?
The new one, yeah. But it was still like there's some funny moments. Yeah.
By the way, we get a reputation for like shitting on everything. They're like, oh, they don't like anything. I see these messages, and I'm like, I actually think we've done more episodes just blowing movies than we do shit on movies.
We have sucked the dicks dry of Alexander Payne, Coen brothers, their dicks, fucking it's like crazy. Yeah,
Coen brothers, Jaws. Everything Scorsese. Yeah.
I said it before. I said it again. People always go, Raanan, you hate every movie. It's like, no, I love movies, and that makes me have high standards. I want a lot out of them. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way. I just rewatched No Country, and I'm like, I've said this all the time, but I'm like, it's so hard for me to watch like a whatever cop movie. 62% of Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, why wouldn't I just watch No Country again?
The people who like everything just don't like movies that much.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Greg Stone once told me, it was hilarious. He said, I like every movie, which is just a hilarious statement to make. like to just say, I like every movie.
Well, I also think he's being funny.
I don't know. I think he was, but I also think it's kind of serious. Like he told
but when I think about it though, I don't hear Greg being like, I didn't care for that very often.
No, he liked literally every movie. And I was thinking, yes, but that means he just doesn't like movies that much. You know what I mean?
I think he would debate you.
Well, and
be quite frankly hurt.
And also it's, how like, if you have a kid, right? And then there's like other, like the kid's friends, you have higher standards for your kid because you love him.
Mm-hmm.
You want more out of him, so you're a little more critical. That's how I feel about movies. They're like a child,
Yes.
Does that make
sense? As someone that has a movie.
I think I say child.
No, I wish.
Yeah.
But I made this movie. I showed my friends the movie. They're the first civilians to see the movie.
Oh, really? Oh, how they like it?
Hated it. Lord. No, they liked it. I think they liked it.
Yeah. I guess, doesn't it suck that you'll never really know what people feel?
That's the problem. Well, until it comes out and people write articles. I will never know what my friends feel.
You'll never know what your friends feel. Because like I did the Tonight Show. All my friends were like, that was great. And then every comment is like, you should quit comedy. So you're like, I don't know who's telling the truth here.
Yeah. I'll pass on that one. By the way, people should join the Patreon. We had a whole in-depth conversation about the Tonight Show, and we talked about licorice pizza.
Yes, which a lot of people joined that. We're moving up, man. We're getting a lot of subscribers for that. So we thank you for tuning in. We should get to these questions. It's been like 4 hours.
We got to get to them, but should we not plug the Patreon? You jackass. Let's plug it.
We just plugged it. What else do we got to say?
I know, but you got to hammer it.
All right, fucking. This is bullshit. What we do for like the public, it sucks. We're phoning it in. I'm like barely listening. The Patreon, we give it our all. It's
wild.
And Bananas. We say juicy shit. We say like cancelable shit. It's crazy.
Not on here, we don't.
Not on here, we don't. But you go to the Patreon, it's N-words flying. It's we fucking kid on it. It's crazy. You got to go to the Patreon. It's some dicey shit, and we're more we really let go, let free, live free and die hard.
We shove it up our ass and come on each other's face.
Watch the Patreon.
Okay, so let's get some questions. You have all the questions. I don't have any questions over here.
We got some good ones. The first one may have been something asked before, but I can't remember. But I'll ask it again. Favorite soundtrack in a movie?
Someone did ask this.
All right, fine. Fuck. Well,
Jesus Christ.
Well, should we try to skip it or should we answer it again?
I would skip it. I said Forrest Gump. You said you hate Forrest Gump. And then the argument was you may not like Forrest Gump in the movie. I understand the criticism, but I'm like, the songs are great.
Yeah,
it's like all along the Watchtower and but it's like Blowing in the Wind.
But you already know the song. It's like a best of golden oldies. You know what I mean? You want to sound
all right, then Rushmore.
All right. For me, it's Wonder Boys.
We had this exact dialogue.
Okay, sorry.
Fuck.
All right.
And then I said Wonder Boys. You go, you never saw that movie? It's great. I got to repeat every word of this.
Okay. So this one is great. I don't think we've asked this before. List. Are there any remakes better than the original?
310 to Yuma. I know I admitted I never saw the first one, but the second one is fucking unreal.
I know.
And it's awesome. And True Grit.
I'm going to mention movies that I have not seen the original of either yet. The Thing, which I think there's like 40 original versions. So there was that. I've never seen the originals, but they can't be as good as The Thing. You know what I mean?
I love The Thing.
True Grit, War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise, one of my favorites, which I'm sure there was one in the 30s where, Martians are attacking. And I'm sure that wasn't very good. And, but here's a good one that we both know, Evil Dead 2.
Oh yeah, it's a remake / sequel.
Yeah, but it is a remake. It's the same. Nothing like the first movie didn't happen according to the second movie.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a remake with more money, and it's much better. It's like really funny and ridiculous and insane. It's like a much better movie.
Much better movie. I agree.
Right.
What else? True Grit, 310 to Yuma just have to be better.
Yeah, I mean. I get, I don't really, most remakes are not great, but those are the ones that I think are probably.
Oh, there's a new, I got a sneak preview. There's a new 12 Angry Men where it's 100% trans women on the jury. It's pretty great.
Oh, you're joking.
Yes.
I don't even know if you're joking now.
I am joking.
Yeah, so those are our examples. All right, favorite. We might have had this one, but okay, no, this is good. Meryl Streep is the best actress. That's what he says, which I disagree with. But Meryl Streep is the best actress.
And my best friend.
And your best friend. Apparently your best friends owe you money. Who's number 2?
Well, I don't know. People don't think it's popular. You don't like it. I think we've talked about this, but my favorite female actor, which is the proper term now, is
oh shit.
Or actor. I think they're just actors. It's been best female actor for 20 years. But anyways, Mia Farrow fucking rules.
Farrow. Huh.
I love Mia Farrow. Well, I'm a Woody guy.
You're a Woody guy. That's a good one.
Right now.
She's got a lot of range. I gotta go. My favorite actress, and I think I don't know if I said this on the pod. I think she's better than Meryl, and I think most movies Meryl's in, if you would have cast this woman I'm about to say, it would have been better. Ready for this?
Let me think. Frances McDormand?
No. Frances McDormand, she used to be my favorite actress, but 4 Oscar speeches pushed her down that list. But Angelica Houston. No, she is the best. The Grifters, fucking Royal Tenenbaum. She's amazing.
This is Spinal Tap. I just saw her in This is Spinal Tap.
She is an amazing actress, and I feel like she would have been better in Devil Wears Prada. I feel like she would have been better in a lot of Meryl Streep movies.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, no, she's great. There's a lot of great ones. I love Emma Stone. I'm not just because she's hot. I think she's fantastic in these movies.
I think Emma Stone's amazing. I think Reese Witherspoon's amazing. I think
Reese Witherspoon is amazing.
She's amazing. And Margot Robbie's great.
Yes, agreed. There's someone else. I always forget whenever it comes up to favorites. I always forget people. But there's somebody that I was just talking about how great they are.
Pretty amazing.
She's very good.
But Angelica Houston's my number 1. I think Addams Family. I mean, to me, Angelica Houston has more definable roles than Meryl Streep.
Well, and Crimes and Misdemeanors. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's like, yeah. And then there's Meryl Streep's performance in a Woody movie is terrible.
Well, Meryl Streep is my friend and keeps writing to us about our film. And
I love Meryl Streep, but I'm just saying, Angelica Houston. I love Meryl Streep, but like everyone gives all the love to Meryl Streep and to no one else. They're like, Meryl Streep, I could watch her read a phone book, yada yada yada. Give some love to Angelica Houston.
Yes, Houston is good, and she was with Jack Nicholson for a while.
Yeah, when fucking the girl was getting raped by Polanski.
But Mia Farrow, unbelievable in Rosemary's Baby, Broadway Danny Rose, she's fantastic. All those movies. I mean, she's just got a
great
lot
performance,
of
lying about her child being molested. That was
she's good at making up stories.
Joking.
Cuff.
Well, actually, I don't know. What do you think? You think it's made up? Have we talked? Yeah, we've talked about it.
We've talked about it, and I'm not comfortable talking about it. But
all right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm a Woody guy. I mean, I said that.
I think it could go either way.
But I love both of them. They're two of my favorite artists.
Well, they might want you to pick one.
Yeah, I'm sure. If I met one, I would say the other one sucks.
So, all right. So, what about this? Better movie, Godfather 1 or 2? That's a good question.
Age-old debate. This is the two Godfathers. What?
Nothing. Tale as old as time.
Oh, you interrupted me for that? The two Godfathers. The two Godfathers are like when people ask me my favorite sport, because whatever sport I'm watching at the time, when I'm watching the World Series, I'm like, baseball is the best. And then when I'm watching the NHL playoffs, I'm like, hockey is the best. It's not even close. That's how I feel about the Godfather movies. But you can't have one without you can't have two without one. I know people are going to debate that, but you can have one without two, but you can't have two without one.
Yeah. They had one without two for for at least a couple of years. Yeah.
Well, for like a year and a half, I think.
Year and a half. That's a great point. So that is probably the best bet for one. I mean, they're obviously like in some ways like one big piece, you know what I mean? But
yes,
I think 2 is honestly hits a little harder for me. You know, I think it's Pacino's performance is like he captures Dead Inside more than like any performance in film history. And with the brother at the end, I guess that's the thing. The brother at the end,
Fredo.
I mean,
you're saying like you saw it once in the 80s. What's the guy at the end there? The Italian one falls
Fredo
off
at
the
the
boat
end
or
getting
something.
killed obviously has more of a tragic impact than whatever fucking Carlos getting, strangled in the back of the
Carlo,
you know.
It's not Mexican.
I think Godfather 2. It also Godfather 2.
And then Domingo gets
because Godfather 2 has more. Here's the thing. Some of the best scenes in Godfather, I'd say my favorite scenes are in the second one, because you have the scene with Fredo and Michael on the launch. That's probably the greatest scene in all of them. You got the abortion scene, which is crazy. Just like that's just a crazy.
You just like a guy hitting a woman. Well, the best scene in the movie to me is Frankie Pantangeli getting visited by Tom Hagen. Tom Hagen telling him to kill himself.
That part's incredible. I mean, that over the fence, that's amazing. One of my favorite scenes ever is when he goes to see his mom, and they're speaking Italian. It's Italian, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're speaking Italian.
You never lose your family.
And then he goes, "The times they are a changing." He quotes Bob Dylan right then. Like it's like an incredible.
He doesn't say a changing though.
He does. He goes,
no, he doesn't. He says the times are changing.
Gather around, children. He takes out a good time.
He's like, but Ma, the first one now will later be last. I mean,
and you'll sing like a stone. So yeah, when you bring up all the great scenes, number 2 kind of kicks number 1's ass a little.
Yeah, well, Frankie Pantangeli is so good, but also they nail the family in the first one is so great. You lose Clemenza, you lose Brando. I mean, those are great. You lose Mo Green. And the Clemenza and Tessio are so good. Clemenza is so fucking good. The way he goes, it's so real. I always talk about it. The scene where he's like, Pete, they got one of the old toilets with the box and the chain.
Yeah.
That the way he says Pete, it sounds so real. No one has ever gotten a movie so well. It feels like those are two guys named Sal and Pete who have been friends for 70 years. It really feels that way. Pete, they got the box and the chain, and then Sonny goes, okay, let's go. I mean, you lose Sonny. I mean, those are some great characters. Clemenza, Sonny, Tessio.
Now that you bring it up, it's actually very much, in many ways, opposite movies, because Godfather 1 is all about familiarity and also love and warmth for all the evil they do. And Godfather 2 is kind of about everyone feeling like strangers amongst each other. It's about a lack of familiarity. So it's like two different movies in a way.
Yeah, and the transformation of Michael in the first one is amazing. He has the long, kind of flopped over hair. He's in a military outfit, and by the end, you don't even notice it. That's the interesting thing about Michael in the first movie is you never really see it. You can't even pinpoint the moment. I understand the moment is when he offers to kill them. It's when he changes, and that slow push in where he's saying that, and they immediately laugh, and then you see he's serious. That stuff is great. I mean, that is some of the best cinema of all time.
And then it's a bigger arc.
And Vito is it's one of the great performances and characters ever. And you lose all of that in the second movie, but you get De Niro. All that rising is so great in the second one. But
yeah, I mean, that's the problem. In many ways, it's like two acts, and it's just, and the second act is obviously the more tragic act because it's the second act, but The Godfather 2 is like the second act. You know what I mean? So if you separate them, you want to, you go with the second act just because it's, way more powerful,
The first one is more fun. It's more digestible because the second one, when he's mean to Tom Hagen and he's mean to his brother, it's like unsettling. It's great and I love it, but it's unsettling. The first one is more like, oh, I love this.
First movie is about life, and the second movie is about lifelessness in many ways. You know what I mean? And so,
where did Pauline Kael say that?
That was me, baby. But they're obviously both great movies. But I go with number 2 if I had to watch, the scenes that stick with me the most.
Yeah, to me it's like picking kids. It's like there's one that you obviously like more, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, but good question. Okay, favorite Schwarzenegger movie.
Boy, I am not a Schwarzenegger guy.
I feel like this is obvious. There's really one.
Well, Terminator 2 for you.
Right. I mean, for you too, no?
I don't know. Kindergarten Cop, I love.
Kindergarten Cop is pretty good.
Twins, True Lies. You could really, there's children around, but you could really get off to that one.
But what? By the way, how insulting? Maybe we've talked about this. How insulting is it in Kindergarten Cop to teachers that he's like, well, I'll just be a teacher. And he just assumes you don't need any experience as a teacher to do that job.
I know. I think in the movie he did.
No, he doesn't.
He had a teacher's degree or something.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. The other woman, no, he's just going undercover.
Oh, the other one was sick.
But I don't even know if she had a teacher thing. I think she was just a woman. And then they're like, well, I'll just do it. And he has no experience.
Let me look. He
has no experience developing younger minds. You're fact checking me?
I'm fact checking. No, I'm not fact checking you. I'm fact checking the writer. I'm like, they must have addressed that.
I don't think so. I think they're just like, anyone can teach kindergarten.
I thought it was true.
Anyone can teach, but it's a little.
Thought part of the plot was like, no, remember you studied kids for 10 minutes 40 years ago, and he's like, oh right, that. I think it's that kind of thing.
Well, you think they're like, hey, remember how you were going to be a kindergarten teacher before police officer?
No, he must have studied something.
Between the two, I want to be either a cop or a kindergarten teacher.
Phoebe had some teacher. Yes. Partnered with former teacher turned detective Phoebe. Fine. Then she gets the flu.
But that's my thing. She gets sick, but like they still just throw in a cop. That's bad for the kid's education in the school. They're sacrificing the entire kid's education by having someone with no experience.
To save one of the kids' lives.
But what about the education for the kids in general? That's just like crazy.
But what kind of take is this? One kid should die so they can have the best kindergarten teacher?
I guess I don't think a cop needs to go under. He could go undercover as a mailman or something else. So like, not like, I just feel like all those kids are learning. All those
he's not working with kids then, though.
But now they're all learning broken German, that they think they're learning broken English and not learning anything. It's just dumbing down our education system.
The premise is we got to get Arnold Schwarzenegger to work with kids. So you make him a cop, you dum-dum.
I just think it's insulting. All right.
No, it's Terminator 2, but Terminator 2, by the way, is the only Schwarzenegger movie that I know, that I like, no.
You don't know Total Recall?
I don't know it like, I know, like I've seen Cool Runnings Man or whatever it is and whatever other bullshit, but Terminator 2 is my answer, even though I don't love it.
Terminator 2 is obviously the correct answer. Terminator 1 is the next one, and then True Lies. Okay, so movies you went in thinking you're going to hate and were completely surprised how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is one I should have thought of.
Well, I have my list.
A list?
Well, I looked at the questions beforehand.
Oh, maybe Shakespeare in Love. No, I think I remember thinking I was going to like that, and I did like it.
Yeah, usually Usually it's always the other way around. You think you're gonna like something and it's really bad.
Yeah, this is why I have a contention with that. Why would I go see a movie that I thought I was going to hate?
I know, that's a good point.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know.
I've actually never seen a movie that I thought was going to hate.
I know.
Because I just skip it.
Yeah, we're not like let's go in and hate a movie. Like, we're like, I hope this movie's great so I can feel something.
Well, I have no stomach for movies I don't like.
Me
if I watch
neither.
it for 3 minutes, I'm like, this is a piece of shit and a waste of my life.
And it ruins my day. Like, I can't watch a bad movie. Yeah, it ruins my day. I agree. Yeah, there is no real answer to There's movies I was surprised how good they were. Cock blockers, which I would have called blockers, but it's definitely cock blockers. So that's my arc. And but then everything else. I mean, Dirty Grandpa. I guess I didn't think I was gonna hate it, but I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I do.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There must be movies like that have just like been on in the background. Oh, maybe like Mean Girls is like a movie that I thought wasn't for me, and then I was like, oh, this movie is like amazing.
Mean Girls is great. Saving Silverman. You ever see that?
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah,
I want to party with you.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be like, terrible. That was great. Yesterday, of course, my favorite underrated movie. Did you even see it?
No, I hate you talking about it.
Why? We got to watch it for the pod.
I don't know. I just don't.
Okay.
I'll watch it for the pod.
All right. Please rank these. I mean, I felt like this is obvious, but The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off.
The Rock, Con Air. I mean, these are three of my least favorite films of all time. Face Off, I hated. That's
really?
Like 3.
That's
I mean,
my number 1.
Hated that movie. I mean, I haven't seen it in 25 years. I hated it. I was a kid and I was like, this sucks, or whatever I was. 14.
Fucking Con Air is like the real. I mean, I actually think Face Off and The Rock are both fun movies. I think Con Air is too bad to be fun.
You want to know the honest truth? I've never seen The Rock. Welcome to The Rock. I never saw either of them. Those, even in school, I was a cunt. Like from like middle school on, I would watch the preview and be like, I have no interest in like, we're escaping The Rock.
I know. Well, The Rock is best known for having these quotable lines that aren't actually good. Like they don't deserve to be quoted. Like your best, you know what I mean? Like it's just like not great lines that just get quoted a bunch. I guess anything Sean Connery says gets quoted.
I feel like people hate me are gonna be like, you elitist douche, but I'm like, I've not watched those movies. I don't like them. I'd rather do other things. And then I try to be open-minded. I rewatched Mad Max, the newest one with Tom Hardy that everyone loved, and I tried watching it and I was like, I hate this.
I know. Well, I've said it before. I've said it again. Desert and sci-fi is just a bummer.
Yeah, good point.
Desert, it's like Dune. Like we gotta watch Dune. I'm like, I do not combining desert and sci-fi are like, I don't know, something about it just I hate.
Yeah, it stinks.
But for me, it's Face Off number 1. I actually really think Face Off is really dumb but really fun. And then The Rock, and then Con Air can suck my dick. Favorite movie, I mean, you might need a second. Favorite movie you've never talked about on the show.
Hoop Dreams? No, I think I talked about that once.
Talked about Hoop Dreams, yeah.
Yeah, we did 94.
Yeah.
That's right. Favorite movie I've never talked about on the show. Cool Hand Luke, have we ever talked about that?
I don't know if we talked about Cool Hand Luke. I've never seen Cool Hand Luke. I've never seen it. I know the eggs, and I know the thing from Guns N' Roses song at the very beginning.
Yeah. Why couldn't you say 35 or 39? What do you mean the very beginning? The beginning of the song, not the beginning of the movie.
No, what we have is a
failure to communicate.
Yeah. What song is that? That's
Civil War.
Civil War. I don't need a Civil War. Yeah. What's he singing about there? Is he singing about the actual Civil War?
I don't think so. I think it's current. I assume it's like current policies.
Okay. But for me, have I talked about how much I love the Fabulous Baker Boys?
I don't think you have. Maybe you have. It sounds
Jeff
familiar.
Bridges, Bo Bridges, Michelle Pfeiffer. It's the greatest road gig movie of all time. I love it. It's about musicians on the road. Great movie. Haven't seen it, I recommend it. One of my favorite movies. I don't know. Do I talk about Gosford Park on here? I mean, I know I talk about Nashville and you give me shit.
You've talked about Gosford Park to me, that it's your favorite movie.
That's not my favorite, but it's one of my top 5.
You say Gosford Park and fucking Nashville are your favorite movies.
2 of my favorites, yeah. Roma. Do I talk about Roma?
You've talked about Roma.
I cry all the time for the whole from beginning to end. Did I say that?
I think so, yeah.
Florida Project, one of my favorites. I've said that.
What movie have I never talked about on here that I love? Or does it have to be a movie we love? I mean, like we could just name movies I've never talked about on here. Con Air before a minute ago.
Have I talked about how I love My Left Foot?
Yes.
I'm just all right. What?
Frozen 2. I've never talked about Frozen 2 on here.
In America. Have I talked about that? Have you ever heard me say the words in America?
No, I don't think so. Lost in America.
In America, I love Jim Sheridan. Great movie. Cry the whole time. Wonderful movie. I haven't seen it. It's about Irish immigrants in America. Check it out. It's fantastic.
Here's a movie I never talked about in here. Hook.
Hook. Hook. Hook.
Run home, Jack.
What do you think about it? What do you think about Hook?
I loved it when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I thought it was fantastic when I was young.
You know, the Hook, and I feel like that's the first kind of like bullshit, not an origin story move, but bullshit like spinoff movie. You know, that began it. It like Hook began like a dumb spinoff thing, and then it didn't catch on, and then 20 years later, it's the only way you can make a movie now.
Right. Here's a movie I loved, and I don't think I've ever talked about. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh, you love that movie?
Meryl Streep.
It is a very good movie. It's very
fantastic movie. That is a dark, beautiful, sweet.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the screenwriter of that is the screenwriter of Fabulous Baker Boys.
Really?
I think so, but I could be wrong. But I might be wrong.
We never really talk about Barton Fink in here.
I like, well, Barton Fink has one of my great favorite lines. Have I quoted my favorite line from Barton Fink?
I don't know.
When the producer's like, you arrogant bastards, there's 1,000 other writers I can get who have got that same Barton Fink feel. Am I butchering it?
Oh, I don't know. That's the whole line. I thought there was something else coming.
I mean, that's just an amazing line.
That's great. That guy got an Oscar nomination.
That old Jew guy?
Yeah.
Oh, really? He's dead now, right? I think he died recently.
Maybe. I don't know.
Bob Saget died. Did you know Bob at all?
Are you kidding? Bob Saget. Hey, faggot, bring out Saget. That's like my go-to story, my legendary story.
What's that?
I don't know, but legendary. I opened for him at the University of New Hampshire in like 05, 06. And I showed up and there was like a line out the door, like 1,000 kids out the door. Mm-hmm. And it was like 14 degrees because it was like January in New Hampshire. And we were just driving through. It looked like the end of the Bob Dylan doc there, No Direction Home. It's just like miles of kids lined up. I get inside, they show it to me. It's like in the gymnasium, there's bleachers, and then like it's 3,000 seats. And I'm like, I should have brought my camera. I wish I had my camera. I'm gonna have like the best set of my life. I go to the dressing room. It's just like fruit, food, veggies, everything. Meet Bob Saget. Couldn't have been nicer. I was so excited. I grew up on Full House. The whole thing. I mean, it's so nice. Great time. And they come down, they're like, the show's going to start about an hour late. There's a problem with the fire marshal, so they can't let any of the kids in. So there's like 2,000 kids. The reason they're outside is because they hasn't opened the doors yet. So they're just sitting out there freezing. So I hang off for like an hour. Bob pops in and out. We say hello, whatever. It's time to go to the show. Like, you got to walk upstairs for the show. It's time to start. I go, okay, great. Hour late. As I'm walking, I just hear the whole building is like shaking. I come in, we open the doors, and they're chanting, Saget, Saget. They literally, it's like the classic thing. They get on the mic and go, are you ready for Bob Saget? And it's like, and like, first is opener, Joe List. And I come out looking like young Bob Saget. And immediately the whole crowd just goes, boo. They're just booing me. I come out, I'm just like in a knife fight, struggling up and down, a couple laughs here, teehees, they suck. Some guy yells out, hey, faggot, bring out Saget. And I had to be like, that was pretty good. All right. I looked over, Saget's like dying laughing, like bent over laughing. I'm supposed to do like 25 minutes. I did like 12 and I was like, can I just be done? And then they were like, wave me off. And Bob was like, that was great. He's like, that was hilarious. I love that. And then he went crazy, he killed. And I opened for him a few other times.
Yeah.
I opened for him in Newport. I opened for him at the Comedy Connection. And we hung out and drank together.
I mean, he's like, seems like the nicest guy, because you always like on stage or stand up, he's always like, I fucked a baby in the mouth. But then every documentary is crying about death and grief, and like seems like the most sensitive person ever, you know?
Yeah. It's funny because I'm like, I hadn't seen him in probably 10 years or something like that. We were at Skankfest, but I never bumped into him. But yeah, he was great. But we weren't, I don't want to make it sound like we were friends. I didn't have his number or anything.
Let me have you I texted, so I don't want to say who, but I texted someone asking them for a favor or something, a comedian, and they texted back, can't talk right now about Bob Saget's funeral. Can't you just not respond to the text at that point?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, you don't have to.
You can talk because you just texted.
Yeah, don't let me know. Like, I just respond later. Yeah, it's insane.
You gotta text me who that was.
I'll tell you later. But
Who
anyway,
do you know that's at Bob Saget's funeral.
I'll tell you later. But it's crazy, right?
Why was my father with a guy with a cape? That is crazy.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, so let me. All right. When will you be back at Soul Joe's? For me, it's March 25th. Are you back?
Soul Joe's? I thought he tore it down. Isn't he dead?
I think there's like an indoor.
You don't go back to Soul Joe's? No way. He didn't give me enough sweatshirts.
Fuck! I gotta ask this one. This is the best. This is one of the best questions. But I once posted a list based on this, so I tried to bring back a list. Film adaptation that's better than the book it's based on. That's a great question.
Got to be No Country.
Yeah, No Country is pretty great, but the book's.
There's no way that book is that good.
It's not, but it's good. But it's not. It's not as good.
I can make a case that's like the best movie ever. Can you make a case that is the best book ever?
No, and I can actually tell you what's bad in the book compared to the movie. So the killer, Anton Chigurh, in the book talks a lot. And so it's like actually pretty pretentious. In the movie, it's a lot more quiet, which makes it work a lot better. Like he goes on pretty long speeches about philosophical speeches in the book. So that's pretentious. And also one of the great contributions in the movie is at the end when he makes her flip the coin and she refuses, and then it cuts to him walking away. So she died, and she died courageously, kind of not falling into his evil plan or his like bullshit sadism. In the book, she does flip the coin.
Right.
And she flips wrongly, and then he goes, "Don't you see? Nothing matters." And she's like, "I see that now." It's like really kind of pretentious and like about a defeat. So that part is much better in the movie. So yeah, it's a much better movie for sure. Yeah,
and I don't know. I mean, like High Noon, which I just watched, it's fresh in my mind, is based on a magazine article. So I'm like, I don't think that article's standing the test of time.
Well, Die Hard's based on a book. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the movie's probably better. No one's saying Die Hard the book is better, but here's the obvious one.
And Jaws.
Jaws is obviously Jaws and The Godfather are the two obvious ones. So
yeah,
they're both pulpy books that made great movies. Yeah,
and Wise Guy became Goodfellas. I mean, that is a lot.
But Sideways, the book is actually kind of lame. It's not even like the book is actually very lame. So that's one best. But can I tell you the best, in my opinion?
Yes.
As LA Confidential. I think that's the greatest adaptation of all time, because if you read the book is actually, it's good, but it's a giant mess. It's really convoluted. No, but the movie does a great job of like, you don't like LA Confidential?
I like LA Confidential, but it's tricky. There's a lot going on there.
It's a lot going on, but trust me, the book, it's like so convoluted, and he manages to like simplify that. Also,
LA Convoluted.
Also, the Rollo Tomasi thing, that great thing in the movie, not in the book.
Oh.
So like that whole thing is invented, and James Cromwell is the killer by the beginning of LA Confidential because it's a series, and that's one of the greatest like flips ever in a movie.
Right.
So yeah, the movie is I think that's actually the best film adaptation.
All right, good answers. Do we have one more?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, let's do these three real quickly. Who are your favorite movie villains of all time? I mean, we both
favorite movie villains.
We both have the same answer for this as number one.
Nurse Ratched.
Oh, I thought Javier Bardem is an obvious number one.
I thought you said three.
Oh no. I said who are your best favorite of all time? Yeah.
I thought you said three. You didn't say three just now?
Did I just say three? I don't know.
Oh, three questions. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say Nurse Ratched, Anton Chigurh, and Buffalo Bill.
Oh yeah, fuck Buffalo Bill over Hannibal Lecter, which I 100% agree with.
Well, Hannibal Lecter's like he's a protagonist,
but he's also Buffalo Bill's way scary. Yeah, Javier Bardem for No Country. I'd say Tom Hardy in Revenant is one of the best villains.
Oh, he's great. I'm not too fond of your plan.
And did you ever see the Jungle Book movie?
Cartoon?
The movie, the real life by John Favreau. John Favreau.
No, what am I, an asshole?
Shere Khan is a great villain in that.
All right.
All right.
Just because I have kid socks doesn't mean I'm watching kid movies.
All right. Here's the best question. If you were gay, what movie would you jerk off to? That's the last question.
Well, I'm straight and I jerk off to Brokeback. So, Top Gun volleyball scene.
Top Gun over. Do you think Brokeback's? I mean, Brokeback's not really that hot. I mean, it's more romantic than hot. There's not a lot you can. I mean, I think they do this joke Knocked Up, but there's not a lot you can jack off to.
Well, the one tent scene is intense. No pun intended. Well, pun was intended actually, but
yeah, it was intended. If he wasn't intended, he wouldn't say no pun intended. You wouldn't even realize.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
no, that's not true, by the way, what you just said.
I guess
you do say true. Puns all the time that weren't intended until you notice it once you say it, you dummy.
But yeah, I guess you're right.
Because if that was the case, then that saying wouldn't exist.
You're right. God damn it. We should have cut this podcast 20 minutes ago. So yeah, Top Gun. I go with Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Interview with the Vampire. I think I go with that.
Oh.
I got like a vampire thing fetish because you got Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and Christian Slater.
Yeah, there's got to be other ones.
They're all biting each other. That's hot.
I've met Christian Slater.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. He's I think that's probably the hottest for me.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Wait, you said 3 questions. I thought that was 1.
Those are 2 different questions. Oh, here's okay. The last question: which 2 movies, one from your childhood or your adolescence, and one from adulthood, would you choose to wipe from your memory so you can watch them again and new?
Oh, wow. That's really fun. Because I talk about this all the time. I always get jealous of people that haven't seen movies. Well, One Flew of the Cuckoo's Nest, I always talk about. That's my favorite movie to watch with someone who's never seen it.
Yes.
Because it's just so powerful and there's so many great surprises. I think Silence of the Lambs would be another one because of those surprises we always talk about, those multiple really great holy shit moments.
Yeah, and I think
great. The better the movie, the more you want to see with it for someone for the first time.
I think watching Jurassic Park in theaters again would have been what? I don't know. That was just such a great experience for me. I'd like to repeat that.
I hear you. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So well, thank you for the questions. They're all very fun. And where can we see you, Joe?
February 15th, Houston, Secret Group. This weekend, I'm in Dallas nice. At Hyenas and home of JFK, one of my favorite movies of all time that you hate.
Are you going to go to the book depository?
I've been there a bunch, but maybe I'll go. You look more and more like Greg Stone.
You mean I'm gaining weight?
No, you just have you guys have similar beards and yeah, I don't know.
Well, I love Greg Stone. He's the best.
Me too. I loved him before you loved him.
Fuck. I thought I'd been plugging my phone in this whole time and it wasn't. Isn't that the most upsetting thing? Yeah,
I've kind of talked about. I tried to do a joke about that with you ever fall asleep on a plane while you're taxiing and you fully fall asleep and then you wake up and you're still taxiing and you're it's almost like you thought you hit fast forward but you hit pause.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Is that funny? Could that be a bit?
That's funny. That's really funny.
Then Boston, April 14th through the 16th. That's Laugh Boston. I'm going to be in Key West in
you go back to Key West. I should message them again. It's probably been a while now.
Yeah, you should go back there. It'd be fun.
I'd love to go back there. It's so great. Yeah.
So I got some stuff. Yeah, you go. You're cutting me off to do your.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm just looking. You got anything else?
No, you said no. That's it. Subscribe.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone who's watched my Downhill Ever Since special. Keep on watching if you haven't on YouTube, and then I'll be in Seattle at last this January 20th through 21st to 22nd, Friday and Saturday.
I'm there tonight.
Oh yeah. Come see Joe tonight. I mean, this won't be available by then, but come see me this Friday and Saturday, and then I'll be in Comedy on State in Wisconsin, 4th and 5th, and I got a new day for my special taping, March 7th.
Oh, I like that. My first TV spot I ever did was March 8th.
Oh, nice. And it's a Monday, which I think is better than a Tuesday.
That is good.
Right? Tuesday is the shittiest day of the week.
On a Monday, I was arrested.
So yeah, March 7th. So I don't think tickets are available yet, but it'll be exciting to
I'm gonna be there this time.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's exciting to promote the whole thing all over again. So
and subscribe to the Patreon. Raanan needs the money, for God's
I need
sakes.
the money. And
we do a ton of bonus stuff.
We do a ton of bonus. We're really giving them out. We wish we could do more, but Joe's career is taking off, and I got other things I got going, and but this is great. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in.
Cut.
Thank you.
Oh.
All right.